You know what I need you to do? Go on down there, hit that subscribe button for daily coverage of the San Francisco 49ers right here on the Niners Report from yours truly, Chase Sr. And with that, let's start the show. Did General Manager John Lynch and the San Francisco 49ers do it again, and have they pulled off something special? I'll tell you what, this 2024 Niners draft class looks to be legit. So coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about Ricky Pearsall, Renardo Green, Dominick Puni, Isaac Guerendo, Malik Mustapha, a little bit about Jacob Cowing, because these rookies are playing critical roles, which could allow the Niners to be a sustainable winner while they're having a pretty expensive roster and their core is getting older, and that's why hitting on these draft picks are so crucial. And we've already seen with some of the marquee players currently on this Niners roster, a lot of them have been drafted in all rounds of the NFL draft in years prior. So let's begin with Ricky Pearsall. Pearsall producing. Got his first NFL action a couple of weeks ago against the Kansas City Chiefs, and now that Brandon Aiyuk is out for the year, as he revealed on his YouTube channel, torn ACL, MCL, damage to his meniscus, Pearsall figures to get more opportunities, more playing time, and with that, he has an opportunity to show everybody why he was the first-round pick for the Niners back in April's NFL draft. Against the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, 77 total yards on 5 total touches. He had a big third down catch from Brock Purdy in which he had to dive for that football, and then he showed his athleticism. He showed his patience, his football smarts on that end around, which went for 39 yards, where you saw acceleration, explosion, open field running. But I love the patience on that play because he let blocks develop in front of him in order for that play to happen. And this is a really positive and impressive showing for him, and it should get people very excited about what he can do for this football team with Aiyuk sideline. 4 targets through the air. He caught all 4 of those balls. Yards per catch at 9.5. And that aforementioned end around, I think that Kyle Shanahan should see that and say, we can use him in a variety of ways. Outside wide receiver, slot wide receiver, running all types of routes with his good footwork and route running. But if you want to dial up a gadget play to keep the defense honest, keep the defense thinking that that play could gash them at any moment, hit him with the bubble screen, end around, reverse, and just find a way to get the ball in the hands of your young playmaker. Very excited to see what he's going to be able to do with more reps. This is a guy who played a lot at Arizona State. He played a lot at Florida. We have seen Kyle Shanahan be very tough on young receivers where they don't get a lot of playing time early because he played that position. This scheme is hard to master. Ricky Pearsall gets shot. He gets reps against Kansas City, plays a good game against Dallas, and I imagine going into the bye, more time to get acclimated, figure out what he does well, what he doesn't do well, what he has to work on. As he gets more acclimated, he could be a more impactful player. Very good athletic tester in the pre-draft process. He ran a 4.4 40-yard dash and had more than a 40-inch vertical. And you saw against the Cowboys how there is that burst and intriguing set of skills and athletic traits. For Renardo Green is playing like a legitimate cornerback. And this has been a huge development for San Francisco because Deommodore Lenoir is playing at an all-pro Pro Bowl level. Charvarius Ward has taken a step back in his game. By the way, thoughts, prayers, condolences to him and his family. He had said on social media on this Tuesday that his 1-year-old daughter passed away, so we are certainly praying for him and his family. That is just a tragic loss. But because the Niners, with Ward struggling a little bit and with other players not really stepping up, namely Isaac Yiadom, they've needed contributions from another corner, and it's been Renardo Green, the second-round pick, who's been able to do that. He led the ACC in pass breakups last year, like Pearsall and a lot of these other rookies, played a lot in college, which I think has allowed them to step in and have these impacts as rookies. Overall Pro Football Focus grade of 79.6. That is 9th among 201 corners in the game who have been rated and ranked by Pro Football Focus. He has a coverage grade of 79.1. I mean, that's very good to elite. That's 11th at the cornerback spot. And then his run defense grade, 73, which is also really good because he has versatility. He's not scared to come up and make a tackle. He can hold up against the run, against the pass, and it looks like he could be a big player for this team. Also keep in mind that pretty much everybody in that secondary at the cornerback position is in a contract year. You might let Ward walk and or Deommodore Lenoir if he outprices himself, which is why you need a player like this to start to accelerate with his development. In Week 8 against Dallas, Renardo Green, before he went down with an ankle injury, he's expected to be okay. He was one of the highest graded defenders in the NFL with the 91.3 overall grade, and he was the highest graded Niner against the Cowboys on a list of players who all had impactful games. George Kittle had more than 100 receiving yards, his 6th touchdown this year, number 1 in the NFL as far as touchdowns for tight ends. Jair Brown had the interception of Dak Prescott. If he can streamline his development because his sophomore campaign has gotten off to a slow start, that'll help lift up this defense, and hopefully that will continue coming out of the bye. Deebo Samuel, Deommodore Lenoir, rounding out that list of the 5 highest-graded Niners, headlined by Renardo Green, according to Pro Football Focus, against the Cowboys. And with all of these rookies that we're talking about today, look at their snap percentage against the Cowboys. Again, this is a coaching staff that is sided with veterans because this coaching staff trusts the veterans more because they've played. But this goes to show you, too, that these rookies have performed so well in games, in practice, putting positive plays on tape, that the coaching staff trusts them. And in a must-win game against the Cowboys, a desperate team coming out of the bye, Ricky Pearsall played 59% of the snaps, Renardo Green, 73%, Isaac Guerendo steps in for Jordan Mason, he logged 63% of the snaps, Dominick Puni, Malik Mustapha played every single snap of that game against the Cowboys on both sides of the ball, obviously, respectively. And then Jacob Cowing, not really talking about him today, but we've talked about him plenty here on the show. The stutter go against Kansas City, the bubble screen, the long ball from Josh Dobbs in the preseason. He looks to be a fine playmaker, too. He only played 18% of the snaps against Dallas. With that, we pop up today's poll question. Which rookie are you most excited about in this rookie draft class? Drop me a name down in the comment section right now. We're only getting started here on today's show, but today's 49ers Report sponsored by our friends at Game Time. If you want to go to a game, sporting event, concert, comedy show, theater event, Game Time is the app for you, and it's the only app that I use in the ticketing marketplace. You get the best seats at the lowest price guaranteed. Prices drop as the event gets closer, and they specialize in last-minute tickets where you can save money, get in the door, but you also get the best vantage point from your seat. What's very cool is that you can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Plenty of tickets available for Niners Bucks. I know this is a worldwide show, and a lot of people watch this show from Florida, so if you want to catch the Niners in Florida, plenty of tickets available there at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. So download the app, create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Terms apply. First purchase only. What time is it? Game time. What time is it here on the show? Time to talk about Dominick Puni. The 3rd round pick out of Kansas has been one of the best right guards in football. And isn't this crazy? He didn't even play right guard when he was in college. Here's how he ranks among all guards in the sport this year, going into the bye week. 8 weeks into the season. Overall Pro Football Focus grade of 76.1. That is 12th among 110 guards. He has a pass blocking grade of 70. That's 29th. Run blocking grade of 73.3. That's 17th. He has not given up any sacks. He has not let Brock Purdy get hit once. And you flip the page and look at the most pass blocking snaps without a sack across the entire NFL. Some of these players are some of the top players in the game. Tristan Wirfs is one of the highest paid tackles in football. John Simpson, Michael Wenu just got paid. Andrew Wiley, a good player. Look who's at number 5. Jake Brendel with 290 snaps. Dominick Puni at 289. So the center to right guard spot been pretty good in helping keep Brock Purdy upright. Imagine if they can get right tackle shored up. Tyler Biadasz, Brandon Scherf, Tyler Linderbaum, and Ronnie Stanley. So some really good players on that list, including Puni as a rookie. And here's what he had to say about him becoming a starter and how he was able to earn that role as a rookie. OTAs, I was just nailing the playbook, learning as much as I could. Then when I went home for 40 days, it was really just hammering the technique by myself. I'm just soaking everything up, trying to learn everything I can. I credit everybody else that's helped me. Looking ahead to the 2025 NFL draft, the Niners need to draft more offensive linemen. Let Aaron Banks walk. Maybe you find a left guard. Maybe you find your center of the future. If it's not a player like Drake Nugent, you know that Dominick Puni is a stud at right guard. Get that right tackle. Priority number one for me, getting a better right tackle than Colton McKivitz. And if you do that, I think this offense can be much better, much more efficient, especially against some of the top defensive linemen, defenses, and defensive lines across the sport, which have caused the Niners problems in some of these big games because of bad offensive line play. Isaac Guerendo, he shined in the place of Jordan Mason, who re-injured his shoulder. Really good game against Dallas. And you see his athletic traits. We've talked about him here on the show. Pre-draft process coming out of Louisville. 6 feet, 225 pounds, ran a 4.3 40-yard dash, 40-plus inch vert. He was a track star in high school. He started one college game. It was his last game at Louisville in the bowl game. He went to Wisconsin before that, but with his size, breakaway and pull away speed, good vision, scheme fit, this could be another great running back under head coach Kyle Shanahan, and against the Cowboys, able to find the end zone for the first time in his NFL career, and he let it rip with that big spike. 14 totes against Dallas for 85 yards, 6.1 yards per carry, and a touchdown. We first saw the long speed and explosiveness against the Raiders in the preseason when he had that kickoff return, which went for more than 90 yards. What I also like is that he looks very comfortable in catching the ball out of the backfield, and I only imagine he's going to get more opportunities in doing that as his career progresses. He does have a little bit of a fumbling issue. Hopefully the hamstring issues don't rear their ugly head, because they have been problematic for him throughout his football life. But this is a player who, when you watch him, you say, wow, that's a special athlete. And with how big he is and how fast he is, he like pops on tape more than other people, because you're like, who is that guy? I mean, you noticed it during the broadcast on Sunday where people were like, and the broadcasters who were calling the game, of course, and then people watching the game who are on Twitter and analysts who weren't really familiar with this game, they were all saying, like, this Guerendo guy is pretty damn good. And Bobby Turner, the Niners running backs coach, that's why he's one of the best running backs coaches in the NFL, because, look, under Kyle Shanahan, how many backs have had success? Pretty much everybody who's gotten a lot of carries and a lot of reps has ended up being very good, and the list is very long. And then lastly, Malik Mustapha from that safety spot. He is making plays every week. And like Guerendo, he doesn't flash as far as like being a crazy athlete, even though he's really built. But, you know, he's a little bit shorter, but he makes plays that make you say, oh my gosh, number 6 just laid another big hit, and he's really doing it at all 3 levels of the field, laying monster hits, not afraid to put his hat on the ball carrier in the pass game, in the run game against Dallas. Just another really pivotal play throughout the course of that ball game where he had the pass breakup in the end zone to break up a score for the Cowboys, which could have ended up being the difference in the game, gotten the Cowboys going with momentum. But around the line of scrimmage, hybrid linebacker, blitzer from that safety spot, he's really just making impactful plays from all around the yard. If you're still hanging out here with us, Real One Roll Call, type Real One down in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching today's show. Use that code ChatSports on Game Time for $20 off. And we'll catch you later today on this Tuesday, October 29th, with more great content.